Imagine this 12 months from today. You wake before the alarm, not because you must, but because your life now has a quiet hum of purpose. You move through your morning like a craftsman who already sees the finished chair inside the raw lumber. Nothing in your outer world has changed yet. Same city, same job, same obligations, but something within you has turned. You made a private decision that every single day you will set aside one sacred hour, no petitions, no excuses, and give it to the person you are becoming. Most people wander, hoping to arrive somewhere worth arriving at. You and I know better. We become what we think about. So for 1 hour, you will choose your thoughts like a gardener chooses seeds, and in doing so, you will choose your future. Begin with the compass, not the clock. Spend the first minutes deciding what your life is for. Write one sentence, clear, simple, almost embarrassingly direct, about the result you want 12 months from now. Not a wish, not a complaint, a result. The moment you decide, your mind begins arranging itself around that picture. It files distractions under unnecessary. It notices people, ideas, and opportunities that were invisible yesterday. This is not magic, it is the ordinary miracle of attention. Hold that picture before your mind as often as you can, and particularly in this hour, say it quietly. See it vividly. The mind, like a camera, does not argue with the subject, it simply develops what you place before the lens. Now feed that picture. Take 15 minutes and learn one idea that serves it. Read a page with a pencil in your hand. Listen to a section of a lecture with your eyes closed and your mind open. Don't chase novelty, chase utility. We are paid, finally, for the value we bring to the marketplace and to the lives of others, and value is the child of understanding. Ask, what single concept, if I absorbed it today, would make me more effective tomorrow? Then extract it. 2 lines of summary, 1 line of application. Knowledge is potential power. Applied knowledge is power in motion. The world will rush to call it luck. You and I will simply call it Thursday's hour. Next, act small, swift, and specific. Use the next 15 minutes to do the next right thing that moves your picture 1 inch closer. Send the email you've avoided. Draft the outline. Make the sales call. Practice the scale. Write the paragraph. Do not wait for thunderbolts of motivation. We do not get energy and then act. We act and then energy arrives. Like breath after a deep dive. Completion, even in miniature, trains the mind to expect progress. And the mind, well trained, becomes a faithful servant. Keep a score. Check a box. Let your brain experience the clean click of done, and it will come to crave the feeling tomorrow. Then turn to reflection, for without it we repeat our days instead of improving them. Ask 3 honest questions. What went well? Where did I drift? What will I do differently in the next 24 hours? Write brief answers. Celebrate the inch, not the mile. A pilot crossing an ocean spends most of the flight off course, making tiny corrections. That is what you are doing here. Tiny corrections daily. Do not scold yourself. Instruct yourself. The difference is profound. One builds guilt, the other builds mastery. And mastery, like compound interest, is quiet until it's not. Finally, protect the hour. Guard it as you would a promise to a dear friend, because it is exactly that. The busy world will try to bargain with you. Just this once. It will say, skip the hour, smile and keep the appointment. If you miss it, begin again the very next day. No drama, no declarations. Habits are built by returning, not by regretting. In a year, you will have spent more than 300 hours shaping your mind, strengthening your character, and moving with intention. People will ask for your secret. Tell them the truth. You gave 1 hour a day to the person you intended to become, and the rest of your life simply caught up. And now, as you step out of this room and into your ordinary evening, remember there is nothing ordinary about it anymore. Somewhere on your desk or kitchen table lies a notebook and a timer. When they meet your decision, they become a workshop where raw days are turned into a crafted life. Most will keep waiting for a new year, a new job, a new city. You won't. Tonight, you'll start the hour. Tomorrow, you'll repeat it. The days will pass anyway. Let them pass while you are becoming, because we do become what we think about and what we practice. Give me just 1 hour of your day every day, and I will show you a year that quietly changes everything. There is a quiet decision that rearranges a life. Not a fireworks moment, not a parade, but a private handshake you make with yourself, 1 inviolate hour each day, set aside to shape your mind and, by extension, your future. Most people chase outcomes the way a cat chases sunlight on a wall. quick, breathless, and forever missing the source. You'll do something simpler and far more powerful. You will trace the light back to the lamp. For 1 hour, you will choose what you think about, and because thought is the architect of behavior, you will be choosing who you become. Consider how the mind works when given a worthy picture. It will begin without complaint to organize the day around that picture. Distractions fall into the margins, opportunities step into focus. This is not superstition. It is selective attention trained to serve a chosen end. Hand the mind a vague wish, and it returns fog. Hand it a specific result, and it returns pathways. Speak that result plainly in your own words, as if explaining it to a friend across the table. Write it where your eyes must pass over it. The mind is a faithful servant when given a clear order. It is a restless wanderer when left to guess. This 1 hour is not an escape from life, it is the control room of life. Begin by deciding what you will allow through the doors. Noise stays outside. Urgency bows to importance. In this hour, you are not a spectator of your circumstances, but the craftsman of them. You pick up the tools that build a person: a pen to clarify, a book to elevate, a plan to direct, and a small action to initiate momentum. Do not wait for a dramatic surge of feeling. Motion precedes emotion as surely as the spark precedes the flame. Start, and the heat arrives. Guard your inputs with the care of a jeweler inspecting diamonds. The world offers you an endless conveyor belt of opinions, scandals, and trivialities. None of them can make you better at what matters to you tomorrow morning. Trade breadth for depth. Read a paragraph that sharpens your edge. Listen to 5 focused minutes that reorients your approach. Ask of every idea, how does this help me create more value for others? Because value, not noise, sets the market price of your time, and the market, indifferent as a scale, will weigh you on what you can do, not what you mean to do. The habit of clarity is your compass. Take a blank page and reduce the next 12 months to one result stated in a single sentence. Then reduce today to one step that honors that sentence. Do not let the simplicity fool you. Ships cross oceans by holding a bearing, not by sprinting in bursts and collapsing in confusion. You are setting a bearing. Each day's hour becomes a small correction toward it, and small corrections compounded move mountains while looking like nothing at all. You will encounter resistance. The mind has grooves worn by years of reacting rather than directing. When the hour begins, familiar voices will bargain with you. Check this first. Answer that later. You can start tomorrow. Smile at the negotiation and keep your promise. Treat the hour as you would a meeting with someone you respect. Show up prepared. Sit down. Begin. Perfection is not required, presence is. A poor session completed is worth infinitely more than a perfect session imagined. Keep score with honesty. You are not judging your worth, you are measuring your inputs. Did you feed the mind something nourishing? Did you articulate your target in writing? Did you perform one action that leaves a footprint? Did you extract one lesson? 4 questions asked daily will turn drift into direction and effort into improvement. The page becomes a mirror, not a harsh critic, but a truthful friend. What you repeat, you become. If you repeat distraction, you become scattered. If you repeat complaint, you become powerless. If you repeat 1 hour of intentional thought, learning, action, and review, you become a person others can trust with responsibility, because you first learn to trust yourself. At first, the changes will be invisible. Slight adjustments in how you speak, what you notice, which choices you make without fanfare. Then one day someone will remark that you seem different, calmer, clearer, more effective. You will know the reason. That hour has been doing its quiet work. Do not announce this decision to the world. Just make the appointment and keep it. Choose a time you can defend from the siege of interruptions. Prepare a small ritual. Set the timer, open the notebook, place the book or lesson within arm's reach. Begin with the sentence of your desired result. Feed the mind something worthy. Take one step, learn one lesson. Close the hour with a brief note to your future self what you'll do when you return tomorrow. You will return, and with each return the pathway grooves deeper until it is easier to keep the promise than to break it. In 12 months, the environment may look the same to a casual observer, but the person moving through it will not be the same. You will carry a different posture into old problems. You will find that challenges are not walls but weights, and you now know how to lift. A single hour, repeated, has reintroduced you to your own potential. That is the quiet decision that rearranges a life. A day becomes powerful the moment you decide what it is for, not in a fog of enthusiasm, but in the precision of a single sentence that points your life in a definite direction. Think of this as drawing a clean line on a map before you start walking. When the line is clear, the steps arrange themselves. When the line is vague, even the strongest effort dissolves into business. So start by asking, 12 months from now, what result will exist because I kept showing up? Answer in plain language you could read to a friend without flinching. One sentence. One result, no poetry, no loopholes. Clarity is not noise, it is the removal of noise. Write the sentence at the top of a page. Read it slowly. Notice how your mind begins to reorganize around it. Suddenly, some tasks look weightless, others heavy with importance. That is the mind doing what it does best, filtering, and it will filter according to the picture you hand it. Give it a cloudy picture, and it will produce cloudy priorities. Give it a vivid one, and it will illuminate the handful of moves that actually matter. The power here is not mystical. It is the natural consequence of attention trained to a target. Turn the sentence into a picture that can be held, not just understood. See the finished result with sensory detail, the email in your inbox offering the role you trained for, the metric in the dashboard crossing the threshold, the client shaking your hand, the recital program with your name printed cleanly on the page. The mind argues with abstractions, it aligns with images. The stronger the image, the more your daily choices will lean toward actions that belong to that image and away from those that do not. This is how a future pulls you forward without force. Make the sentence specific enough to measure and simple enough to remember. Get healthier is a wish. Run 5 kilometers without stopping by June 30 is a directive. Grow the business. Drifts. Consistently generate 20 qualified leads per week by Q4. Directs. You are not making a prison, you are building a track. Tracks do not limit trains, they enable speed. Precision gives you the gift of feedback. Each day becomes a scoreboard you can read closer or farther, online or off. Now translate the 1-year result into a monthly and daily focus without diluting its essence. Ask if the annual sentence is true. What must be true this month? Reduce again. What one step today honors that monthly truth? Do not fill the hour with a dozen intentions. Choose the one that moves the needle. Depth beats breadth because depth compounds. A deep inch daily becomes a canyon yearly. Your sentence is the chisel. Repetition is the swing. Write the sentence by hand every morning during the first minutes of your hour. Not because the paper needs it, but because you do. Handwriting slows thought and engraves intention. Speak it softly after you write it. Let your ears hear what your hand just declared. Post it where your eyes will collide with it. Screen saver, wallet card, inside the front cover of your notebook. Surround yourself with cues that make the important inescapable. Environment is a silent partner in every victory or defeat. Guard against the two thieves of direction. Ambition without aim and perfection without progress. Ambition without aim keeps you sprinting in circles. Perfection without progress convinces you not to start until everything is ideal. Your sentence defeats both. It says, "This is where we're headed," and then invites the next imperfect step. Remember, a plane is off course most of the flight and still arrives on time because the pilot keeps correcting. Your sentence is the bearing that makes correction possible. Use questions to sharpen the sentence when it feels dull. Who, specifically, is served by this result? How precisely will value be created? Which skill, if strengthened, would make this 10 times easier? What metric proves the result is real? When, daily, will I practice the one behavior most correlated with success? Each answer tightens the lens. Each tightening reduces friction. With less friction, consistency becomes natural, almost effortless. Measure with kindness and honesty at day's end. Did today's actions match the sentence at the top of the page, even in small ways? If yes, underline the sentence and note the win. If no, circle it and note the adjustment. You are not shaming yourself, you are steering yourself. Steering is the privilege of those who have chosen a destination. Without a destination, there is nothing to steer toward, and drift becomes the default. Expect resistance from within and distraction from without. The world will always have a sale, a scandal, a scroll. Your sentence outlives all of them. It does not shout, it stands. It becomes a personal standard by which you accept or decline invitations, schedule or shelve tasks, say yes or say no. Each no to the irrelevant is a louder yes to the essential. Over time, others will notice the quiet firmness in your choices, but the real transformation happens privately. Your thoughts gain order, your hours gain purpose, and your results begin to match the picture you chose. Return to the sentence tomorrow, and the next day, and the next. Repetition is how a path becomes a road. Read it, write it, carry it. Let it edit your to-do list, your calendar, your conversations. When opportunities appear, hold them against the sentence like a stencil. Does this fit the shape of the future I'm building? If yes, step forward. If no, step aside. This is how a single line on a page becomes a line through a year, straight, deliberate, and yours. Energy arrives for those already in motion. Begin with the smallest deed that honors your aim, and let it be so specific a child could point to it and say, "That." Draft the first paragraph of the proposal. Dial the number and introduce yourself. Open the document and outline 5 bullet points. Practice the opening scale for 4 minutes. When you move even a little, the world stops being a set of ideas and becomes a field with handles you can grip. Ideas don't change your life, implemented ideas do. Treat this segment as a workshop, not a wishing well. The question is not, what might help someday? But what can I complete in the next 15 minutes that nudges the scoreboard? Completion is the teacher here. Finishing a crisp micro task creates a small surge of reward that trains the mind to associate effort with satisfaction. You're wiring your own motivation loop. Action to completion to encouragement to more action. Skip completion, and you skip the encouragement, and the next session feels heavier than it should. Reduce friction until movement is almost automatic. If the task is to write, open the file to a blank line before the hour begins. If it's to call, have the number cued with a 1-sentence opener visible. If it's to practice, lay the instrument out with the metronome ready. Friction is the silent killer of good intentions. Every tiny barrier between you and the first inch of progress multiplies the odds of delay. Remove the barriers in advance and momentum becomes your ally. Choose a target so clear that success and failure cannot be argued. Work on the deck, invites wandering. Draft 3 slides problem solution. Next step invites delivery. Learn sales is fog, write and rehearse a 30-second value statement and record it twice is a path. The task should be small enough to finish now, but meaningful enough to matter later. A well-aimed inch beats a random mile. Use the 2-minute gate to break inertia. If a task can be begun in under 2 minutes, do it immediately and let it pull you forward. Often the first 2 minutes are the entire battle. Once you've typed the title, the paragraph arrives. Once you've laced the shoes, the walk happens. Once you've opened the CRM, the call gets placed. The mind respects beginnings. They signal seriousness. Start and watch resistance melt. Make friends with the draft. The first attempt is not a verdict, it's raw material. Give yourself permission to produce a rough version quickly. Perfection is a finish line word. It has no place at the starting line. Say out loud, I produce, then I polish. This short sentence disarms the critic in your head and frees the builder. In 15 minutes, rough is not only acceptable, it's strategic. A rough email sent to the right person opens a door that a perfect paragraph in your head never will. Leverage constraints as creativity's railings. Set a timer for 10 minutes and declare, I will brainstorm 10 headlines for this landing page. When the timer ends, stop, pick the best 2, and spend the last 5 minutes shaping them. Or choose a call block 5 outreach messages, each under 60 words, personalized with 1 concrete detail. Constraints force choice, choice produces clarity, clarity accelerates output. Stack tasks to compound effort. If you must research, write while you research. Capture exact quotes with sources so that completion is baked in. If you are learning a concept, teach it briefly to a colleague or the camera on your phone. Teaching turns fog into form. If you are building a habit, pair it with a trigger you already performs. After coffee, draft the daily 3 sentences. After lunch, send 1 ask. Before closing the laptop, log 1 lesson learned. Stacking reduces the need for willpower by hitching new behaviors to old rhythms. Measure the right things, shipped value. A paragraph drafted is progress. A paragraph sent to the person who needs it is value. A script practiced is progress. A script recorded and uploaded is value. Where possible, push work 1 step beyond almost into OAT. The marketplace pays for outcomes, not attempts. Train yourself to cross the line. When avoidance whispers, answer with specificity. Vague fear hates clear instructions. Tell yourself exactly what to do next in simple language. Open the deck. Insert title slide. How we cut onboarding time by 40%. Then obey the instruction. Keep the tone plain and unemotional. Drama is fuel for delay, directness fuels delivery. Create a visible trail of completions. Keep a simple grid where each day earns an X, only when you finish one concrete act that advances your aim. Watch the chain grow, and do not break it twice. A broken day is human, 2 in a row is a pattern. Protect the chain the way an athlete protects a streak, not for superstition, but for identity. I am the kind of person who finishes things, is a powerful sentence to live under. Remember that small doesn't mean trivial. A brick looks insignificant alone. 100 bricks begin to suggest intention. 1,000 bricks is a wall, and a well-placed wall changes a landscape. Today's email, today's paragraph, today's call, today's rep. Stack them and you will wake to find the skyline altered. This is how momentum is built, not in leaps but in steady, unglamorous victories that compound into reputation and results. At the end of the block, leave a breadcrumb for tomorrow, a note that says where to start, the next action spelled out, the file path, the phone number, the first sentence half written. Make tomorrow easy to begin, and the habit will harden into identity. When you return, you won't negotiate with the day. You'll step back onto the track you laid and keep moving. That is how hours become outcomes, and outcomes, over time, become the life you meant to build. Progress hardens when it is examined. The hour's final minutes are not for more doing, but for turning today into instruction for tomorrow. Sit with the work you've just completed and ask it to teach you. It will, if you listen without vanity. Take a clean page. At the top, write 3 brief prompts: what worked, what wobbled, what will be different next time. Keep each answer short, even blunt. Clarity loves brevity. The point is not to impress a reader. The point is to equip the builder. You will be in 24 hours. Begin with what worked. Name one specific action you took that genuinely advanced your aim. Not a general feeling, an observable step. Sent the follow-up to Maria with 2 concrete options. Is useful. Was productive. Is smoke. When you name the precise behavior, you are telling your brain, this is the pattern worth repeating. Success leaves clues, but only for those who gather them. Underline the phrase that captures the essence of the win. You're building a library of moves that fit you. Next, look directly at the wobble. Where did attention drift? Where did you postpone a hard thing? Where did you choose cleverness over honesty? Write the fact without drama. Drama turns feedback into fiction. Facts turn it into fuel. Then ask, what friction made this harder than it needed to be? Was it an unclear target? A cluttered desk? Notifications? The wrong tool open? Identify the friction and decide a small fix you can apply before tomorrow's session. Reflection without adjustment is autobiography. Reflection with adjustment is engineering. Turn the page into a cockpit, not a diary. A few gauges matter most. Track 1 or 2 lead measures you control. Calls placed, minutes practiced, pages drafted, and 1 or 2 lag indicators that report reality. Responses received, pieces shipped, conversions achieved. Write today's numbers next to yesterday's. Numbers are honest friends. They ignore excuses and reward consistency. If the lead measures are steady and the lags remain flat, that is not failure. It is a signal. Refine your approach, not your resolve. Approach is a lever. Resolve is the hand that pulls it. Perform a miniature after-action review. Ask 3 questions. What was I trying to do? What actually happened? What will I adjust? Keep each answer to 2 lines. You are training the mind to complete a loop: intention, execution, learning, improvement. Loops compound. Those who loop fastest grow fastest. This is why a single hour can outpace a whole day of unfocused effort. The feedback arrives fresh, while the feel of the work is still on your hands. Record micro lessons in a way your future self can retrieve. Create a running list titled, Win This, Do That. When the inbox feels magnetic, set a 15-minute send-only timer. When a call feels heavy, script the first sentence and dial anyway. When the writing stalls, switch to bullets for 2 minutes. These are not slogans, they are switches. Tomorrow, when resistance arrives in its predictable costume, you will have a panel of switches ready to flip. Protect gratitude from vagueness. Write 1 sentence of appreciation tied to effort you controlled. Grateful I kept the appointment despite low energy. Teaches sturdiness. Grateful for good luck. Teaches nothing you can repeat. Gratitude aimed at controllables builds confidence without arrogance. It reminds you that you are not at the mercy of the weather in your head. Close with a clear re-aiming. Choose the next session's one step and make it idiot-proof. Write the exact file path, the first line to type, the name and number to call, the metric to hit. Lay out any tools you'll need. Document open, template ready, reference on the desk. Friction removed today is momentum granted tomorrow. You are not leaving a mystery. You are leaving a map. If discouragement knocks, measure distance from the starting line, not from the skyline. Yesterday's you would have envied today's inch. Respect the inch. It is how bridges are built. The mind loves to compare the middle of your journey to someone else's highlight reel. Bring it back to the craft. Did you keep the promise? Did you learn something specific? Did you move the ball 1 yard? 3 yeses beat 1 fantasy. Beware of the twin traps, reliving errors or rewriting them. Reliving bathes them in emotion and teaches you to fear the work. Rewriting protects the ego but keeps the flaw intact. Replace both with rehearsal. Visualize the corrected move once or twice, see your hand make it, hear your voice say it, and then close the book. You are not a prosecutor. You are a coach. Schedule forgiveness the way you schedule effort. If the hour went poorly, write, begin again, circle it, and set tomorrow's start time. The muscle you're building is return. Anyone can be faithful on a good day. Character shows up the morning after a miss. Return quickly and quietly. Momentum is rebuilt by the next right minute, not by speeches to yourself. End with one sentence addressed to the person you're becoming. Speak to yourself as you would to a capable colleague, respectful, specific, forward-leaning. Tomorrow at 700, open Q4 proposal V2, draft 3 bullets on client pain, send to review by 7:25. You've got this, just start. That sentence is a bridge you will cross in the morning. Leave it sturdy. Then close the notebook. The work of the hour is now complete, because you have turned today into guidance. When you return, you won't be guessing what to do. You'll be continuing what you